Hello, California. I am back. I'm vlogging again. I'm in California again for the third time in a year, which is insane because who lets me keep coming here? I'm here for a company on-site, so we're going and meeting with an agency. So I get to the airport yesterday at 2 o'clock in Wilmington. My flight gets delayed a couple of times, but it's by 5 minutes. So we end up taking off by about 3:30. And I get to Charlotte, get myself some Shake Shack, and prep to get on this 5-hour long flight to Anaheim, Irvine, Orange County. I get on the flight, we get on the flight, and we're sitting at the gate for probably, I think we were sitting at the gate for probably 30 minutes before anybody told us what exactly was going on. Then they tell us that basically there's just taxi traffic behind us. They're going to pull away from the gate here in a second. It's not going to be that big of a deal. We finally taxi away from the gate maybe 20 minutes later, and we end up sitting on the tarmac for another 20 or 30 minutes because there were multiple planes that were getting de-iced in front of us or needed to get confirmation that they were clear for icing or de-icing. So then they get to, basically there's 2 planes in front of us. They're we should be taking off here in the next 10 or 15 minutes. And we're great, cool, perfect. We end up starting to feel the plane turn around, and the pilot comes on and he's just hey, so in the time that it took for all of these things to happen, we actually, our first officer, if you know anything about planes, is similar to film when you have a turnaround time that you have to be able to have to get on the next flight, or you can only work so many hours. That's exactly what happened in this case. So first officer times out, we have to go back to the gate and let him off. Now, the reason, you're probably wondering, wouldn't he have timed out in the air? And that's exactly right. Basically, that hour put us to the point where instead of him landing and then clocking off, basically, he would have clocked off in the middle of the flight, which is not what you want. So from that point, they're we're going to go back to the gate. We don't know what's going to happen until the gate agent opens the door and tells us who is replacing him. We could be here for 20 minutes. We could be here for a full hour. So I'm sitting there. I'm I'm not getting to Anaheim before 10 o'clock, which I was supposed to get there at 8:30. So I was I'm not getting there before 10. It's fine. The people next to me are basically there's an 11 o'clock curfew at John Wayne International Airport, or at John Wayne Airport. So we can't land past 11 o'clock. So if they think that there's a potential for us to land after that point, we are going to completely deplane. Foreshadowing. So we end up having to completely deplane because they're we don't know when this first officer is going to be here, and we're not going to leave you guys on the flight or on the plane. But stay close to the boarding area, and then we'll let you know what the game plan is. Now, mind you, there's no notice of oh, we're going to be able to go to the bathroom, get food, whatever. It's not going to be a 30-minute window or whatever. They're just just stay close. So then we get off. I'm staying close to the boarding area, and I immediately call the hotel that I'm staying at. I'm hey, I'm just letting you guys know I could be hours before I get there. I don't know what the deal is. We suddenly start hearing murmurs that they could end up diverting us to LAX. But I started freaking out because I was I don't know how I'm going to get from LAX to Santa Ana, not without spending a crap ton of money. I was about to say a different word, but a crap ton of money. And I don't know if that timetable, depending on when we land, if I'm going to be in a situation where I'm going to be able to get to my hotel, or if I'm going to have to book a different hotel, or if I'm going to lose the money. And mind you, this is a work trip, so I don't know the rules of engagement here. Finally, after 30 minutes, they tell us that we are being redirected to LAX, or diverted to LAX, and no transportation will be provided, no shuttle, no nothing like that will be provided from LAX to Santa Ana, which at the time when this was happening, which was around 9 o'clock last night in Eastern time, it was a 2-hour drive. It was a 2-hour drive. It was going to cost over $100 to end up getting there. It was going to be awful. So we ended up reboarding. The people who were in the exit row with me actually rebooked their flight and just flew directly to LAX already. They were like, we're not even bothering with this plane because it could be another hour, 2 hours before we even take off. So they ended up rebooking, and I had the exit row all to myself, which was fantastic. I don't think I'm going to get lucky. I'm not going to get as lucky on my next flight, but that's fine. We end up getting on the tarmac. We end up getting at the gate again. They say, hey, we're getting held at the gate because, plot twist, there is a piece of metal in the tire. And if that's the case, we're going to have to deplane again because there's no way it's going to get fixed. But come to find out that it was a piece of metal from luggage that had just gotten like tagged onto the, that just got like stuck on the tire, and it was fine. And they're like, these tires are really thick. It's not anything to worry about. And we're like, you literally were the one who came on and said that we may be delayed because of this thing. Then we end up taxiing again out to the runway. Come to find out at that point, the cargo loading team that had been loading up was off of work at this point, and they didn't know the weight of all of the cargo on the plane. So they had to wait until they could get in touch with the crew chief to be able to confirm our cargo, the amount of cargo that we had. It was so wild, guys. I lost it. We ended up landing at around like 12:30. By the time we got off the plane, no one was in the LA airport. Literally, we like drove around and I was like looking in, and I think the only people that were there were like cleaning staff. We ended up deplaning. I didn't have any checked baggage, luckily, so I immediately went and grabbed my taxi voucher, which again, they had told us they weren't going to reimburse for any sort of transportation, but like we ended up landing and they gave us a taxi voucher, which ended up coming in handy. It was ended up saving like $100 that I didn't have to pay for, but the taxi voucher took us to the Santa Ana airport, and then you had to get a ride from the Santa Ana airport anywhere you were going. And luckily for me, my hotel was right across the street. By the time we got from LAX to Irvine, it was like, I want to say it was maybe a 45-minute drive. I ended up arriving at 2:04 to my hotel, 2:04 local. Yeah, I'm really tired. I ended up having to wait to check into my hotel room because they do like an audit at 2 a.m. And so I had to wait until about 2:45. And so for those of you who are doing math, I didn't actually fall asleep until 6 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Pacific. I'm gonna lose it. I am now gonna go get breakfast with my cousin. And we have not seen each other in a couple of years now. I'm very excited about it. I don't know how much footage or anything I'm gonna get because I obviously want to be like present with her. And so we're gonna get to chat and catch up, and yeah, we're just gonna get to hang out for a little bit. And then I am coming back here. I have a couple of meetings this afternoon that I'm just calling into, and then I am gonna head over to our actual client meeting. And I don't think I'm gonna get any footage or anything of that, mainly because like I want to respect them and respect the process. We're going to Disney tomorrow, which that's going to be the bulk of this video. And if you're not a Disney fan, that's okay. I am not a Disney adult by definition, but I am a Disney fan. So we're going to go do that. And we have a scavenger hunt on our hands because I've got to get a couple gifts for my little, my nibblings, nieces, nephews. I have my best friend's kid that I want to get him some stuff from Cars Land. I'm really excited about that because he's obsessed with cars. And then I want to get my niece something nice as well. Also, I just got an email from a client that I'm going to try to respond to. Bye! So I just got back from the on-site. It went really, really well. At least in my opinion, I think it went well. I didn't wear this, obviously, but it went well. I think I learned a lot, and I have some ideas for some things leaving the on-site. We're gonna try to get the most out of this trip because I don't really get to do this a lot. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get to do this again, so I'm gonna enjoy it while I have it. I'm really tired. I'm like starting to fade here. Hello, it is Disney day. We are going to Disney. Obviously, we've got the Mickey Mouse stuff on. I'm gonna go downstairs, eat some breakfast, and then we are going to get on the road. Rides first, get all the rides done that I cannot do at Disney World or like anywhere else. And then I'm gonna do like souvenirs that I can't get anywhere else. So yeah, let's go get some breakfast and get on the road, because probably by the time I get there, gates are gonna be open, people are gonna be getting in line, and it's a Friday, so it's gonna be chaotic. See you at Disney. Okay, we've got first ride of the day done. Now headed to Haunted Mansion. I was gonna do Star Wars Land first, but I'm gonna actually do that here in a little bit. But we're gonna go hit Haunted Mansion real quick. Already did Pirates. We're going for it. Moving fast, going quick. Let's see how this goes.
Is this haunted room actually stretching? Or is it your imagination?
We have been unavoidably detained by icy spirits. Kindly remain seated in your doom buggy, please.
Now I will raise the safety bar.
So we're heading to Batuu, Galaxy's Edge now, because Haunted Mansion, we got a lightning lane pass to come back later. So we're gonna go enjoy some, I'm not going there. Gonna go enjoy some Galaxy's Edge, maybe, if I can get there. But this is the pro and the con of coming here by myself, is if you are fast and speedy, it takes forever. Okay, so now we're heading into Batuu. The line is already so long for Rise of the Resistance, so we are just gonna hit Smuggler's Run, might be once or twice. See how it goes. So I just did Smuggler's Run. Ooh, I spilled my drink all over me. I just did Smuggler's Run, and I'm now headed to Fantasyland because I'm going to come back and do Rise of the Resistance tonight. Spent the first half of the day at the park so far. Disneyland here in the back. Gonna head to California Adventure now. Spend the rest of the day there. I met a really nice lady this morning who helped me get some coffee at my hotel, and she was like, "Oh, come back for World of Color at California Adventure. I'm a cast member. I'll see if I can make some magic for you for your birthday." And I'm like, hell yeah. So I'm gonna go head there. I'm gonna spend probably the rest of the day over here. This is such an experiment in filming in public because I am deeply uncomfortable right now. So we're officially in California Adventure. I'm grabbing some lunch. And this is the same place that I had grabbed lunch at 2 years ago when I came here. And I sat outside then too. And got to just kind of enjoy people watching. It was significantly less crowded, but it was still really fun. And so today I'm drinking the same exact drink I drank 2 years ago, which is the Jack, the frozen Coke and Jack. We're just gonna take our time for the rest of the day. It is a little bit crazy though, because I've obviously, like, looking back at the past couple of years, like, I would have never done something like this 3 years ago. It's wild. Okay, I'm gonna put this away because people are looking at me now and I feel awkward. Bye. Hello. Hi. Fancy seeing you here. I'm laying in my bed currently because I realized that I did not fill you guys in on how the rest of the night went. It is currently 10:24 at night. I just got back. I was gonna stay later and I did not because my feet hurt really bad. I'm back at the hotel, obviously. I realized that I didn't, like, probably the second half of the day I did not really record. So I'm gonna fill you in a little bit on, like, what I did and where I went. So originally the game plan was, like, I was gonna leave Disneyland and go to California Adventure for the rest of the day. I did not do that. I ended up doing, like, I think, like, a ride or two more at Disneyland, then going to California Adventure, walked around California Adventure twice, rode a couple of the rides, and then popped back over to Disneyland. That's how you use park hopper, guys. You hop back and forth. Hop back over to Disneyland and rode, spend a little bit more time in Batu and, like, Black Spire Outpost, and then, or Galaxy's Edge or whatever, and then ended up riding Rise of the Resistance.
BB-8, is everyone assembled? Good.
Or maybe you're a spy working for the Resistance.
I actually don't even know what my name is. So
Really?
Yeah.
Is it Maggie?
No, I stole this off somebody.
You stole that.
Yeah, from Resistance.
Really?
Body. Yeah.
Maybe you have
it's on
some
the
dark
ground.
side in you.
We'll see. and then came back through, rode Indiana Jones. Then I ended up going back over to California Adventure for World of Color. Hung out in Cars Land for a little bit while I was shopping around. Ended up going over to Pixar Pier and sat and watched World of Color, which was incredible. I probably inserted some clips, but it was I honestly was gonna not go, but ended up going. It just was such a magical end of the day. The overall day was so magical. There were so many little like glimmer moments of like really kind people doing really nice things. I'm going to pack and go to bed because I'm tired and I have to get up in a couple of hours. So I'm going to end it here.